Don't know who won the die roll quite just yet. Looks like... Okay, I can see Cam's hand. It looks like he's going second. I know that
okay,
look.
There we go. Yeah, you put the cards down, you're going second.
And phase 1.
Jesse moves into main phase 1. He's going to lead off with the field spell here. He's going to start with Fire King Island. Both players opening up with Fire King Island. Not the greatest, but he's going to destroy Ponix
That's
here.
good. That's good. Of any of the fire cards, you do want to probably destroy Ponix. Gives you a better setup. You can get a little bit more reach into the deck in terms of the Fire King monsters.
Right, and you're able to destroy like an Arvata or Kieran right away to get 2 fire monsters on the field without having to use your normal summon is pretty huge.
It changes up the line when you get the original. Original now doesn't need to dig for the Fire King line anymore. So you can probably go for more of a Snake Eye-oriented play just as your follow-up. Kieran gets destroyed by the Garunix, and that's going to activate and summon back the Ponix without using a normal summon. So that's great.
Indeed it is, and he does go for Kieran instead of Arvata here, because a lot of times it's because you want to use Sunlight Wolf to add back that Kieran. And there is the Sunlight Wolf, so now we're going to probably see a summon. Oh, no, Drawn Lockbird.
Oh, that's a very interesting one.
He's going to link that away from Link Karibo. His hand is definitely not a great one. He doesn't have any access to the Snake Eye part of his deck. We're going to see if Cameron is going to be able to capitalize on it. I think that's the first time I've ever called him Cameron in my life. But it came out of my mouth, and I was like, I'm in Cam.
Well, considering that Cameron has not disrupted Jesse so far, it kind of makes me wonder what he has. Like, a lot of the tells, like, where did they disrupt you? And since Cameron did not disrupt him, is it a later one like Nibiru, or is it going to be a hand just full of gas?
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to see a Link. I thought maybe he'd be going to Heat Soul here, but without any other monsters, somebody's going to go into Princess. At least setting up Princess and Blowell is a form of disruption. But yeah, if he doesn't have anything to stop it, Effect Veiler's huge here on the Princess. Jesse's going to need to find a way to get another monster on the field, but I don't think he can. Just a face down to the Spell and Trap card zone.
And then I will attempt to end my turn.
Ending on the Princess. Bit of a tough position to be in. Firelocked, I think you can only really get the Kieran to kind of pop things off. Now Cameron going for turn. He does have a Snake Eye Ash in hand, contemplating whether or not that is the correct opening. There's just so many different ways you can open the deck, especially when you want to play around certain cards.
Yep.
The best opening, normal summon out Snake Eye Ash.
Yep, it's not the way Jesse started. Cam starting off with that Snake Eye Ash. Does Jesse at least have an Infinite Permanence or an Effect Veiler or something like that? Maybe another copy of Droll and Lockbird. Though Droll versus Snake Eye Ash, not the greatest. You're going to cut off that Poplar from being able to add a Spell and Trap card. But the Snake Eye engine plays through Droll and Lockbird pretty well.
Yeah, if you do get hit by a Droll and Lockbird, at worst, you just lose access to the Fire King line. But we're going to see the Poplar being added to hand. A quarter century.
Of course, you got to call it that quarter century.
It's a beautiful card, right?
Yeah, I need to get my hands on that.
And so Poplar has been added to hand. I believe since he put it on the field, I'm going to activate, reveal from hand, and special summon it onto the field. Cam going back into the deck, grabbing a Snake Eye Speller Trap. And that is going to be
Divine Temple of the Snake Eye.
We've been seeing a lot more play of this card, especially at this event. I think they've come to the conclusion this is a really good card. Probably anyone that's trying out, Snake Eye, Fire King should put that in their deck. It just gives a lot more options.
I am a big fan of it. Yeah, especially if you draw with Diabell Star, a lot of cool combos you can do. It also helps you play Nibiru, and that's also a quarter century secret rare field spell there. And he's going to activate it, allowing him to place a Snake Eye into the Spell and Trap card zone.
I feel like Cam might have maxed out his deck. The Effect Veiler also.
Quarter century. It's quarter century Starlight? I think it's quarter century. It looks like it has the ultra rare lettering, the little gold letter too.
Yeah, that's probably
Starlight Effect Veilers are pretty nice.
Those are really cool. I got one of those.
Ooh, lucky. Now it looks like Poplar is going, or no, he's using Divine Temple to think about Oak. So sometimes you get Flamebird if you're able to worry about Nibiru, but with Princess on the field, not as much of a problem, but he does have the Kieran in the hand to destroy the Princess to put it back into the graveyard. So Jesse does have some forms of interruption already available to him. Looks like Cam is going to go with Snake Eye Oak. You get Oak so you can put it in your graveyard, summon it back with the Snake Eyes Flamebird's Dragon later in your turn, and get an additional monster onto the field.
Yep. And lots of careful thinking here. Got to figure out which is the perfect line to go for to do maximum damage here.
Yep, and he's going to use Snake Eye Ash effect to send itself and another face-up card he controls, like the Oak, to the graveyard to summon that Snake Eye Flamebirds from the deck in quarter century secret rare.
Yeah, I think this deck it has to be maxed out.
It's the way we do it in Texas.
Now, with the Flamberge on the field, once it gets sent to the graveyard, we're going to see 2 more monsters being summoned back from the grave at the level 1s. That effect, does not target. A lot of people kind of forget that part of it. It doesn't target, so as long as you have the right material, even if it's a safe number to put 3 in there, so you're guaranteed even if someone has a DD Crow.
Yep, and now this is where I was about to say, I wonder if he's going to use the Flamebirds going after that Garunix to try and cut some options off from here. Because since Jesse didn't preemptively use that Kieran, he's going to be able to place it in the spell and trap card zone and cut off all those interruptions that would have presented. Maybe a slight misstep here from Jesse? I think you just have, seeing that Flamebridge, knowing that this could happen, you might just have to fire off that Kieran on the Princess so you can summon back the Grunix to destroy Kieran from your decks, bring back the Ponix to take out either the Temple or the Poplar, so you at least get some value out of it. Because now there's no value to be had from the Grunix here at all.
And you got to find some way to get rid of it. Hopefully, maybe drawing into a Snake Eye card to pay that as cost. But we're going to see if Jesse even gets a turn back at this point. We're going to summon out Hita. The graveyard does have a Ponix, I believe.
It does.
And that's going to enable the Fire King line for Cameron. Like these mirror matches, because each other's graveyards, they are accessible thanks to the Charmer, linked monsters. You have to be very careful. That's why a lot of people are very scared of activating Ash Blossom, because it's also a fire monster.
And here comes Oak and Ash. Does he use Oak's effect to bring back the Poplar here? Looks like he is going to do it. Now, does Jesse have... He has 2 cards in hand, so he could use the Kieran here to destroy the Princess and have Nibiru as well, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it. And at any point, he does summon the Kieran and puts the Princess in his graveyard. That is 2 forms of interaction, because he's still able to destroy the Kieran on field to bring back the Princess, then use the Kieran effect to destroy another card, bringing back the Ponix. So he can destroy 2 cards that Cam has at any point in time when he so chooses.
We're going to summon into Linkaribo using the Poplar, and we are going to... perhaps use... I think this is another Link summon. This is a Link summon.
For 2?
For 2.
I was wondering if maybe Appaloosa would be on the menu to go into early since he does have that Kieran in the hand. But that one spell and trap card on Jesse's side of the field, if it is an infinite permanence, and you invest so much into an early Appaloosa, that could really backfire.
I think Cam is right now contemplating on the SP Little Knight. Of course, using the Link reveal as a material, that's going to forgo the direct attacks for the turn. However, if you can maintain control, that would be no problem, and probably just get the turn back to finish it off. So SP Little Knight has been Link summoned onto the field using the Linkaribo.
Is he? I think he said he is going to banish. Or maybe he said, I'm not using the effect.
That's also a good one, because leaving that SP Little Knight just puts so much pressure. It gives you so much timing advantage, just dodge effects.
Looks like he decides to use...
Yeah, he is using the effect.
now.
Or is he using the Hita effect?
Yeah, he's using Hita.
This is Hita, so we're not going to be using the SP effect here.
Wants to be able to still attack directly.
Going for the Sunlight Wolf.
Maybe he is looking at Appaloosa to prevent that Kieran from coming down. Or it's just a Link rating to trying to go into a Princess or something. But he definitely made this SP to dodge some sort of targeting effect negation.
I mean, if the Kieran comes down, you can use the SP lens to just get rid of the targets, and that's just going to blank out the Kieran. Kieran needs to destroy.
Very smart. Cam showing why he is in first place after Swiss here at the Undisputed Ultimate Duelist Series Championship. He definitely prepared for this tournament, but so did Jesse. Not opening strong going first is tough, but Cam off to a good start.
We've seen that kind of back-to-back with Jesse. Will Jesse be able to make that comeback? If anyone can do it, it's Jesse. We've seen it happen on stream. And I like how Cam is playing here. He's basically going to one option to another, which kind of bridges some of the weaknesses or some of the choke points that could happen by using the SP Little Knight. Now we don't have to worry too much about the Kieran. If he goes into Appaloosa, maybe he can use the SP now as a different material. So, there's always something on the field that applies pressure onto Jesse.
Okay. Indeed it is. So he's going to link away into the Promethean Princess with the Hita and the Snake Eye Oak. So now he can bring back a fire monster. He's definitely looking to finish Jesse off this turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards committed at this point. Are we going to see a Zelantis player? Are we pushing towards that direction?
Looks like he might be thinking about it. He's going to link away Princess and Oak again.
Is this Amble Whale, or are we going to see the Raging Phoenix?
It looks like he was
it's the Raging Phoenix. Yeah, he's going for a very heavy damage push here. Since there is a fire monster on the other side, or rather you're going to have a fire monster, and your opponent's monster is going to be summoned back out, the Zelantis is going to allow for your own Promethean Princess to trigger in the graveyard and summon out.
Indeed it does. So he's going to summon it there since it's going to be co-linked to SP Little Knight.
Yeah.
Okay. He's using the effect. This is a very tough position. That face down for Jesse hasn't come into play yet. We're going to see if there's going to be any impact coming from that card, or is it just a bluff? This is quite the tense moment. This is mere moments of closing out the game right now.
I mean, Cam hasn't even used like his Fire King stuff yet. This is all just Snake Eye.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, he can fall back on his Fire King strategy.
Right? So you.
And he gives back. Remember that
that's huge. He doesn't have a fire monster now.
No, he does not. He can't summon back. Oh, is that a
no.
misstep? Remember, Zelantis summons back to the owner's field, not your own.
Oh no, he forgot that was Jesse's Sunlight Wolf.
You summon my card.
Oh, but there
yes.
is still the Flamberge in the back now, and the Divine Temple. Will Divine Temple be able to push that out? That depends on the wording of the card.
No, I mean it's the same as Princess, right?
Is it the same as Princess? If it's the same as Princess, then your opponent did perform a special summon.
Yeah.
That is going to allow that.
But Cam's looking at Princess right now.
Your opponent's field, not yeah.
Oh no!
it's different. It is
It's
different.
slightly different. We're not going to be able to get a fire monster. The Princess is going to be stuck inside the graveyard.
Oh no, but I don't think Cam is out of this just yet. Like even though this is not going the way that he wanted it so far, or way he might have planned it, he still has so much stuff he can do. He has that Black Witch in the hand. He has Fire King Island. There's plenty he can still do.
But now we're going to enter a different line where there's a chance that Cam could go into an overcommitment state and maybe backfire. But we're going to push the Flamberge into the graveyard, special summon out the Diabell Star, the Black Witch.
He hasn't used original.
Oh
yet,
no! And original can solo anyone, and this could be it. But most of the Snake Eye cards have been used, so there's a little bit of grace there. But that card can also turn online the Fire King. But there's already Fire King Island.
Don't set it in that zone, Cam. Not that zone. Any other zone. I don't think at this point it's an infinite impermanence, but there is a chance.
You gotta play your
There's
columns
a lot of pressure.
right.
There's a lot of pressure here on the Final Four. I mean, there's only going to be one undisputed Ultimate Duelist Series champion.
Okay, and we're gonna send away the field spell. Paying its cost.
Yeah, there's no way it's impermanent at this point. That would at least. I think you would have had to just thrown it on the Snake Eye Ash at the
for
beginning.
Sure. We wouldn't have needed to see this current board, so we are going to summon out a level 1 fire monster. All the Snake Eye stuff has been used, so I guess it's just Ponix left, and Fire King Island already in the hand. You can really only get Sanctuary, really.
Yeah, he's still going to probably be able to summon out his Raging Phoenix. You can destroy your own cards with Kieran as well.
As long as he knows that part, then that's a very interesting line. Zelant is not as not as much of a one-trick pony as people may have thought originally. You can defeat someone with an empty board, as you mentioned yesterday.
I mean, he's already close to having enough damage because the battle phase effect of Zelantis, being able to destroy cards equal to the number of co-link monsters. He has 2 co-link monsters on the field. That's 2 cards that he can destroy. He'll be able to take out the monsters on the field. He still has to worry about Jesse's Kieran in hand, though, as well, I think. But the SP Little Knight can kind of deal with that, as you mentioned earlier. So he's going to have to find a way to put enough damage on the board, sans the SP Little Knight attack, which I think he can.
It's going to be a bit difficult, especially
He
when
just has to shake off like the missteps that have happened so far, probably.
Yes, because the SP, when you do use the effect, you're going to lose out a bit of damage once that happens. So Cam right now, probably in his mind, going through the numbers, how do I keep the extra monster on the field, maybe get the Destruction, maybe still get the Raging Phoenix, because if you use the Raging Phoenix now, it's not going to gain as much attack points now, because the fire monster you have on the field is just the Ponix.
And now we're going to use Fire King Sanctuary.
Okay, Sanctuary. I think we're going to try to line it up for the Garunix now with the Fire King Island.
They both drew Fire King Island in this game. A little bit funny, but Cam's hand a little stronger, even with that Fire King Island in hand. So he's going to destroy the Ponix, going to be able to add Sacred Fire King Garunix to the hand.
Now, Jesse does have multiple cards. If it is like Nibiru plus the Kieran, then we might see a complete reversal.
Yeah, it's definitely the case. But Cam just no short of damage here.
Yes, the damage now can reach. We have the reach now. But it needs to be, both cards need to be useful for Jesse's side.
Somehow, so much time has already gone by, and it's only been 2 turns. You know, like
There's just so much to do.
They're playing it at a pace, but I prefer a little bit quicker of a pace.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you don't want to make a misstep, but you have to play a little bit quicker.
I think this is the the Zelantis thing. Read your cards.
Yeah.
The slight wording change really just changes. It's not just summoned back to your field. It mentions owner's field, and missing that particular keyword is how we ended up right here.
Yeah, he thought that was his Sunlight Wolf. I don't know if he might have just. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he knows about like the Zelantis giving back the monsters. But I think he really just forgot that it was his monster.
Yeah.
They were all in white sleeves, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why maybe you could use different color
things,
sleeves
yep.
just to differentiate. But here we are. We're gonna Jesse just here patiently waiting. I think you just have to wait it out. At least
what are we waiting on? Oh, he has the imperm. He used the imperm.
there
on the
is an
Grunix.
imperm.
So he is holding it this whole time. He didn't
Why,
even value using it on
though?
the original.
It's so like there could have been many other opportunities to use it, but it could have blocked the original. Could have stopped the Snake Eye Ash.
Because now what is it doing? Because it's just being forced to use it. He's not even able to chain it. Like he has to chain it to the Kieran, but the Kieran's just going to destroy something else now.
Is he forcing it on the SP?
I don't know what he targeted.
I mean, if you force it onto the SP, the Kieran will be live, so then the SP can get rid of the cards, and then we will be able to use the Kieran and maybe be able to use the Nibiru if that's the card in his hand, but he's got to find some way to survive, especially when the Garunix is in the back. There's no follow-up coming from the Fire King cards.
Yeah, this game is incredibly interesting. So, yeah, he's going to go after Fire King Island to try and take out the field. Fire King Island is going to activate to destroy all the monsters on the field.
Okay.
Oh, and he has the other card was Nibiru.
Yeah, it was Nibiru.
The whole time it had to be Nibiru. The Kieran wasn't going to do anything. It had to be Nibiru. The other card in hand, the primal being. It's coming down. We're way past 5 summons. We're probably closer to 15. And now Nibiru, a clutch card. The second that the Promethean Princess left the field, I really can't believe that Nibiru is the one other card in his hand. It had to be Nibiru.
That's right. That's the only option. Otherwise, I think Jesse probably might have picked up his cards. And, well, we know that there's still a Kieran in hand. Will it come into play later on? We don't know.
This is so rough. Because, like, Cam did his play knowing that he could invest. He was trying. I mean, I see where he was going with it. He wanted to have a game shot to force out the Nibiru, and then he could, as he got Nibiru, he could follow it up.
1-for-1 follow-up. This gives the entire engine. That misstep from Cam is now going to probably cost him this game.
Oh, no. Just because that's the worst part is when you make the mistake and there's only one thing that can change. And you're like, you get punished by the one punish. Oh.
Does Cam have a disruption from the hand to stop that Snake Eye Ash? Because now the Snake Eye Ash can put the Garunix back into the graveyard, putting that engine back online.
All right.
Oh, boy. What a reversal.
Crazy. Now, he doesn't have Fire King Island. A lot of players only play one copy of that. I think Jesse is in that group. But he still has everything else. He has the Grunix in his Spell and Trap card zone, but he can easily send that away with Snake Eye Ash to put it back into the graveyard to summon back. And I think Jesse's going to steal game number 1 here on the back of Nibiru, the primal being.
One slight misstep is all it takes, and especially at a high-skill tournament like this one, you're going to get punished for every mistake you make.
Oh, man. So he's going to send Grunix. Here comes Flame Burst, Dragon.
Oh, boy. This is a difficult situation. Cam kind of showing his nerves a little now. Maybe a little bit disappointed of not reading the owner's part or forgetting that the Sunlight Wolf wasn't his. The original kept in hand now can be used more or less like a backup follow-up, so you don't need to commit the extra card. We're going to the Anima
And
coming
he put
down.
That Nibiru in Jesse, known for Anima, putting it into the zone. He can't equip the token.
It gets the token.
Effect targeting.
There we go. Poplar putting the Sunlight Wolf back into the Spell and Trap
What
zone.
happens to it?
It stays.
But it gains 0 attack. Right?
There's no attack gain from the token, because token naturally do not have a stat line.
But tokens can go in the spell and trap card zone.
But the damage-wise, there's 3,000 and 3,000 just from the two monsters right now, the Flamberge and the Nibiru. Getting one more card is not that difficult with this.
He has the original he added off the Poplar. He's going to be able to send the Sunlight Wolf. What level Oak? Does he still have Oak in his deck? I'm pretty sure he does.
I think he does. He didn't
do anything.
Yeah, he didn't touch his Snake Eye cards.
Here comes Snake Eye Oak. That's going to special summon back from the graveyard.
Is that he does have enough material for a second Promethean Princess, and that would be over 8,000 damage alone right there. And not to mention, you can special summon another monster. That would be also another option to just put more damage out.
Dark.
But we're going to go for Dark. Dark taking the Diabell Star. Diabell Star getting another card.
I mean, this is already game on board.
Do you commit? Well, Jesse is not taking any
Battle
chances.
phase.
Maximizing resources, going into battle, taking a full reversal on the game number.
UDS.
So game 2, Cam choosing to go first. Open with the Fire King Island once again in his hand. But there is also the best card, Snake Eye Ash.
Effects Veiler.
Effect Veiler has landed onto the field. Is there going to be a follow-up coming from Cam to disrupt that? Oh, we have a Crossout Designator, one of my favorite cards.
Me too. I love Crossout Designator. If there's a format you can use it, it's going into my deck. And right now, it's probably one of its best formats currently, with a lot of people playing the same cards, a lot of people playing those interactions from the hands that can devastate you. But you have to play the same cards in your deck. He does play Effect Veiler, so he's going to be able to cross that out and continue on with his plays.
And he's going to get the Poplar. Poplar is going to summon off and add a spell card into hand. Now, Crossout, one of the better things about Crossout is it doesn't stop your own cards from going off on the next one compared to Call by the Grave.
All right, now Poplar is going to add...
Is it the field spell, or is it going to be the original? Those are the only two options I believe that Cam has.
Yeah, if you have access to a Black Witch or Wanted, usually add the field spell, since Diabell Star can only set the Sinful Spoils, while Poplar adds any Snake Eye Solar Trap. The original Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes kind of has both of those theme names in it, so you kind of get a little bit of crossover there. But Divine Temple of the Snake Eyes, only a Snake Eye Speller Trap, and he is going for that Divine Temple.
We're seeing this more and more.
Sure.
Well, at least if he does manage to get to the Diabell Star line, you can still have access to the other card, which is a nice touch for the deck. We're going to see Oak being placed into the Spell and Trap Zone. No, there's no Triple Tactics Talon. Otherwise, I think Cam would seal the game if that was the case. But now we're going to use Snake Eye Ash's effect, putting the Oak into the graveyard, likely summoning out a Flamberge Dragon. So far, most of the opening plays usually want to set up the Flamberge before the 5th summon, just so you're safe against Nibiru to some degree.
That's what I like. I like leaving Flamberge up until I have a way to play around Nibiru. That way, if they Nibiru me, I'm at least getting those 2 monsters back, along with that token. That's 3 monsters. You're still going to find a way into Promethean Princess. You can go into, like, IP Masquerade or something with the token, and then link your way your other monster into Princess. So definitely, heads up. Want to keep the Flamberge on the field as long as possible. But true commentator fashion, it immediately goes to the graveyard.
Yep.
Sometimes you don't have that luxury, especially if your opponent has something like Effect Veiler to play around Nibiru. You could also take the read that since they use their effect negation on the Snake Eye Ash, a lot of the time you do that, it's like, well, this is my one thing I can do to stop it. If you have the Kieran, you have it. So you kind of have the read that maybe he doesn't have Nibiru, but maybe Jesse knows that. So he's going to use his effect negation immediately to get him off of Nibiru to make him think he doesn't have it while he has it all along. Who knows? There's so many mind games in this particular format. Like, we talk about decks and how strong they are, but this deck really does get stronger based upon your skill level.
And we got the Flamberge effect summoning back the Oak and Ash, and that the Oak brought back the Poplar. And also Poplar's effect put the Flamberge into the Spell and Trap Zone. So in case that Nibiru does come down, Flamberge comes back onto the field. There's going
Really
to be
cool.
follow-up every single time. We're taking 3 of the level 1s going into the Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. And the IP Masquerade is still on the field. We're going to special summon back this, the Oak onto the field through the Promethean Princess effect. And we're going to link summon for Amblo Whale.
Here comes Amphibious Swarm Ship? Yep, Swarm Ship.
Swarm
Amblo
Ship.
Whale. That's the one part of the word I never say is the Swarm Ship, the middle one. Is it a tank? Is it a boat? Is it a train? They can go in the water for sure if it's amphibious.
An amphibious vehicle.
There you go. There are Shiblos. So Amblo Whale, IP Masquerade with the Promethean Princess engraved, not It's a bad start.
This is a very solid. Okay, we're going to start off in draw phase. Draw phase, we're going to activate a wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils, going to add the Diabell Star, the Black Witch. Always do that in the draw phase, unless you're trying to bait a couple of cards. You know, there's different timings. It's not always draw phase is right, but maybe if you have triple tactics talent, you could also use it then just to bait an additional card to activate the triple tactics. We're going to start with a special summon of the Diabell Star, using the Garunix as the cost.
Definitely a card you don't mind sending to the graveyard, but this will prompt Cam to use that Divine Temple of the Snake Eye to special summon from the spell and trap card zone. And he's also going to chain Effect Failure to Diabell Star. This is a card you do want to use Effect Negation on, because there's not a lot they can do to prevent that from happening.
Placing a card onto the field, much more difficult than adding a card.
Yes, definitely. Now let's see what Jesse's next follow-up he has.
A lot of people debate whether or not it is worth it. However, he already had it.
Dang, so that Effect Veiler just stopped him from setting a wanted?
Yeah,
Rough.
oh no.
That's not what you want to see.
All right, the plays are going to continue. We're going to get the Snake Eye Ash summoned onto the field. Now, Garunix is already in the graveyard, so that's actually pretty key.
Yeah, so if there's any form of destruction, interruption here from Cam, Jesse will be able to summon that Garunix.
Perfectly layered security. You know, a little bit of insurance policy just in case destructions do occur.
Fire King deck's like an onion. It has many layers.
We got an Infinite Impermanence
And
the Kieran!
Oh, man, things are just coming up Kotton right now, but he still has a board he's going to have to deal with, but he's had an answer at every turn for all of Cam's plays. He still has IP. He has a Princess in the graveyard. The Flamers is going to summon back monsters from the field. But this Kieran being on the field is huge. He opened up with Kieran, Garunix, Wanted, Effect Veiler, Original.
Pretty good.
Not a bad hand.
Pretty good.
I think a key thing from Cam's turn I want to take away is he didn't get access to that Fire King engine. So even though he has all these disruptions, he is lacking in the Garunix, the Kieran, the Arvata, a lot of those monsters that you can summon to the board to have a little bit more of interaction. He is just relying on a few things. But Appaloosa's still on the menu. SP Little Knight can come down from IP Masquerena.
Amblo Whale's available. Promethean
Whale,
Princess. Everything is available. Still, quite a few disruption, but most of these cards you can play around if you have the right cards.
Yeah, Jesse has a Wanted draw as well to put back the original Sinful Spoils.
So good.
And this Kieran is just, he can't use anything, so he's going to summon the Garunix now since the Snake Eye Ash was destroyed.
No, with the destruction effect coming from the Garunix, we could probably load up on maybe an Arvata, maybe summon it back later on. It's the Fire King engine is online without the island. You don't have the liability.
Don't have to worry about that island destroying your field. That is right.
Because if you do put the island out, you could just eat the SP Banish, and then your entire field might be destroyed. So this is kind of a neat way to see the Fire King engine online.
Yeah, Cam, no response here. Doesn't use the Princess just yet.
Timing is key. Timing is key. Jesse showed us that in the last game. Patience. And Ponix.
He drew Garunix, Kieran, Ponix? That is wild.
We're going to see if Jesse sided in another Fire King card, depending if that Ponix is going to add a different card into hand.
So here comes the Ponix. Jesse now with one card in hand. He still has the Wanted draw. He's thinning his deck out of every card that he can add before he decides to capitalize on putting the Sinful Spoil back with Wanted Seeker, the Sinful Spoils, to net him a draw off the top of the deck.
Now, if he goes for the other card, no, he's going for Fire King Island immediately. Island can probably destroy the Kieran to add another copy of Kieran and then summon the Arvata out of the grave and destroy a different card on the field. There's quite a few things available for Jesse. But Cam still has the IP Masquerena, Amblo Whale. If that puts into the graveyard, maybe even more disruption from there. And we're going to get the draw effect from Wanted, putting back the original to the bottom. We're going to draw a card.
All right, let's see if it's going to be an impactful one at that. Checking the graveyard. Jesse knows if he can win this game, he will be moving on to the finals. We are somehow 30 minutes into this match, with like 5 turns total.
Yeah, 5 turns total. But
players have a little bit of extra time, so I guess they get to take their time with each their plays a little bit. But please, at home, play faster. Like, that's all I have to say to you.
The top cut.
Every time you activate an effect, you don't have to check both players' graveyards. You don't have to check your extra deck. You need to like just keep on going. But I know there's a lot of pressure on the line for these players right now. But like,
I'd say
let's play a little bit
the
faster.
pressure is
You don't want to
on.
get you don't want to get a penalty.
Penalties would be the worst because slow play penalties are usually the easiest ones to upgrade because it's you just gotta play faster. It's like the same action.
All right, so he is going to use the IP Masquerena here and link away Flamebird's Dragon with the IP Masquerena to go into SP Little Knight. So he'll be able to banish a card on the field or graveyard and summon back 2 level 1 fires thanks to Snake Eyes Flamebird's Dragon.
But is that
Like,
good
see,
enough?
this is where I'm talking about. The time it takes to think if I want to be in the extra monster zone or if I want to put it co-linked, that's the time where you can save on your actions.
We're going to use SP Little Knight's effect to banish the Kieran. That's a pretty smart move. Basically, removing a bit of the resource coming from the Kieran. Your Fire King is likely not going to be able to get the best destruction option here.
Yeah, smart to go after the Kieran with the banish. Important. Now the Flamebird's Dragon is going to bring back Snake Eye Oak and, I mean, another level 1 monster. You really don't want to get a penalty this late into the tournament. Especially if you got one previously, you have to pick a level 1 fire monster. It's either Poplar or Ash. Ash can add Poplar, so you can also have another monster after that. Like, these are little things that from playing you should know, these interactions, like breathing.
But could be nerfs
like,
from
it's all
Camside.
of them anyway. It's all 3 anyway. Like, are we thinking about putting the Poplar in attack mode? Like,
That's true.
What is really happening right now?
I think maybe the nerfs come to Cam, especially when the last game he made a little bit of a fumble and doesn't want to make that same mistake.
True.
I mean,
So Snake Eye Ash is going to add Ponix. Now Poplar effect's going to activate on a new chain.
the board is full once again.
Like, yeah, slowly looking through the deck. Doesn't have a target, maybe? Maybe you already used it? Nope, there it
he's
is.
got- he's got
Sometimes
it.
it gets missed.
All right. Still Jesse's turn.
Still
Jesse's turn. It seems like we're playing on the opponent's turn right now. I built my board. I summoned 5 times on your turn.
Phase 1.
Now, with the remove Kieran, I don't know if that Arvada's going to do anything, so we have to go into battle phase. Battle phase, we're going to have the Garunix attack into the SP Little Knight so that there won't be any additional removal. I think we're counting the number of monsters on the field just so that we can actually finish our play without losing the resources needed to get to the actual end board.
Yep, Ponix going to take down Snake Eye Oak. Maybe she should have been in attack position, but you never know what Jesse's going to throw out.
You could take extra damage, and maybe that's all it takes,
Yep.
and reduce the reach so that you can end on a shorter play.
Definitely. Now, it looks like main phase... Oh, he's going to link away the Ponix, main phase 2.
Oh, we're going to go for an Anima. We've been seeing this card coming from Jesse time and time again. Maybe it should be a mainstay.
It's a decent card in the extra deck. The extra deck space is tight to get down to 15, especially if you want to look at cards like Underworld Goddess and stuff like that. I think I might... While it's a good card and comes up, there are other ways you can kind of go about playing where you don't need to rely on Relinquished, but
it's nice to see that
use it
as
for
an
a little
additional
removal.
Yeah, additional removal. If we went directly into Link Karibo and then into SP Little Knight, that we wouldn't have been able to remove the Poplar off the field. Considering that Jesse already went into the battle phase, there's only so much he can clear off of the field now.
no, Jesse has to have something here to stop Princess, right? Because he would just use Princess?
This is very dangerous. Princess can blow up the Ambler Whale and destroy that, and then Ambler will summon another card back onto the field. Especially in main phase 2, you can't battle those monsters, so those monsters will likely stick on the field if you do not have any more effects to go with that.
Checks the graveyard, checks the hand,
But when
check the graveyard. Now it's important, but yeah, he is going to use...
Princess.
He's using Poplar.
Oh yeah, there's also Poplar effects. Remember, things going into the graveyard, there's just so many effects going into the graveyard. But when you destroy the Hita, if you do choose to destroy the Hita, you might give your opponent another card, another fire monster. You can get Kieran to hand as well, because it has to be 1500 defense or less.
Yeah, you really got to be careful not to get a slow play warning this late into the game. Like, especially if you haven't... Penalties carry over from day 1 to day 2, so if you got one in day 1, you wouldn't want to get one in day number 2, but Yeah, like the most obvious princess in the world to me, but maybe, you said after that game 1, it's maybe a little scary. Like, they were in main phase 2. Hita's, like, the only thing you can destroy. The Grunix has already been used, so you don't have to worry about it.
Chain one Hita.
And now Hita's going to be able to add a card from a fire monster from Jesse's deck.
Yeah, everything seems to just have a follow-up. You just have to play like this, and when it comes to this particular format, your monsters better do 2 things. They better be able to do 2 things every single time. Like Popular. Does 3 things.
Okay, it looks like, yeah. See, this is what I was worried about. If you take too long on all of your plays, you're going to end up with a slow play warning. I mean, even when you have extra time, like, you have to play at an appropriate pace. You can't think for 30 seconds to a minute every single play. It's not 30 seconds per action. It's an appropriate pace.
Yes.
Because the time adds up, and if you end up in game 3 in time, like, there's an advantage to certain players who use certain side deck cards. Like, even though the increments may seem like small at port, it result in, the game not finishing.
Yep.
Like, the time on the clock isn't how much time you have to play. It's the round is over at that point. You want to finish before that clock hits 0. You don't want to make sure you're done, like, as it hits 0. You still want there to be 20 minutes. Like, you want to take a bathroom break. You want to go get a snack after you're done with your round. You want to play quickly. But, yeah, there is a lot on the line here. It looks like Hita is going to add Snake Eyes Poplar to the hand, and then Poplar is going to be special summoned to the field.
Just the amount of follow-up coming from these players. Every play layered for the next one we are going to add to our hand the original from the Poplar. Poplar is going to hit the graveyard to be linked summoned into a Link Karibo. You know how he did not use it earlier on? He went to the Relinquish Anima, and now we have the Link Karibo available. That's going to put either Poplar or Fire Monster into the spawn trap zone. That's going to be the Poplar. Once again, Poplar brings your own cost. BYOC. Bring your own cost for your cards. Normal summon Ash Blossom.
Unexpected. It's crazy that he hasn't used his normal summon yet to this point, but he still had it in his pocket. He's going to have to normal summon a fire monster there, so I imagine he's going to go into...
He does use, but we do have a dark, so it's probably going to be a dark on this one.
Using the other one.
Yes, we're using the other one.
I guess.
So many great options here.
IP.
We're going to go for the effect to special summon IP into one of the Link Arrow. We're going to now perform another Link summon. And lucky for us, Promethean Princess does not require fire materials, and that's why we're going to summon the Promethean Princess. Now it's protected from your opponent's destruction effect, and we're going to special summon back Snake Eye Ash, and that's going to send away Snake Eye Ash and Poplar as cost. And it's going to summon out like a Flamberge or an Oak.
Ooh, so
There are options.
He's going to go for Flamebird's Dragon.
Oh, this is an interesting position. Do you put back one of your own, or you want to push your opponents to the back? This is main phase 2, after all.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, he needs to get rid of that Divine Temple because it's... Well, I guess not really. It's not a big deal. He needs to get the Flamebirds out of the spell and trap card zone because he doesn't want him to be able to start his turn to be able to send that to the graveyard and summon back 2 level 1 fires. But he could go after IP. Okay, he was going to push back the Amblowell, as you said. It might be an option.
I think minimizing the amount of disruption that's going to come forward. I mean, Amblowell, if that card managed to be destroyed, you're going to summon back perhaps the IP Masquerena back onto the field. Pushing it to the back probably might be the better choice. And we're going to perform a Link summon with the Promethean Princess and the Flamberge Dragon. Link into 4. Maybe set up his own Amblowell here.
Make Raging Phoenix.
Oh, going for Raging Phoenix.
Interesting. Maybe he wants to save the Amblowell to summon later on. Maybe he definitely went to battle phase. I don't think he forgot that.
Yeah. Summon back 2. We got the Snake Eye Ash and the Poplar.
It has been a long turn, though.
Going to Zelantis.
Zelantis. Sure.
Are we going to see Zelantis effect here? Now, we know that the Relinquish Anima is also gone already.
Mm-hmm.
So, Promethean Princess.
There.
Summoned to the middle. Okay, definitely not going to be a Relinquish play.
So now he's going to use Promethean Princess. Now, does Cam have Garunix in his hand? He does, right?
I think so.
Does he not want to use the Garunix, holding off on it? Just
Or no, is it a Ponix?
I can't tell. It looked like a...
It's a Fire King.
Okay, it's a Fire King. Sure, it really, really looks like Garunix. I don't think that's Rangbali.
But there's no... well, then again, there's still Zelantis on the field. During the battle phase, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of co-link monsters. It could be for either player's battle phase. So maybe this is just to apply a bit of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
this game is now beyond me. I play a lot of Fire King Snake Up. I guess he's valuing. Oh, so he is getting rid of the Flamebird. I said that was one of his key ways. This is the way he decided to go about it to be able to go into Nightmare Phoenix.
Very interesting play, and it is co-link, so that Nightmare Phoenix will be able to draw an additional card along the way.
Just take out the field spell.
That makes it harder for that Flamberge, but if Cam has a way to get a Snake Eye card.
Yeah, I guess if you get rid of the Flamebirds, the field spell's still up, he will be able to summon back that Amblowell. So now he's making Cam have to have something to send a face-up card to the graveyard. What is Jesse going to do now in terms of interruptions? He has the Princess in the graveyard, but that's it right now.
Battle phase is a little bit more controlled through the Zelantis. There is 2 co-links, so in the battle phase, quick effect can still destroy cards. We're going to get rid of the Zelantis and the Raging Phoenix. And we're going to SP Little Knight, keeping it nice and tight. Now, this one's protected from battle due to the co-link with Nightmare Phoenix, so you can't just go into battle phase to take out the SP Little Knight. Very smart play.
Oh, it is Ponix. I do see it now. he was moving him so fast. But he could have summoned the Ponix as well. But I guess he wants to hold it?
Perhaps because he already has a Fire King Island, maybe use that as the option. He doesn't have any other monsters that he had to hold back.
True. All right, so now Cam up, and this is his chance to get back into this game. He has to win, otherwise he will be eliminated. He's facing down SP Little Knight, 2 face-down Solar Traps. There's a Promethean Princess in the graveyard. There's a Sacred Phoenix of Garunix, Sacred Fire King Garunix in the graveyard, and there's a Salamander Raging Phoenix in the graveyard, and the Garunix can destroy Kieran from the deck to summon back Arvata to pop another card. So as soon as Cam summons a monster, he could be in trouble.
Fire King Island has touched down onto the field. There's only one card that the island can destroy. That's going to be the Ponix, which is a pretty decent one to destroy, and that's going to add Garunix into hand. Oh? Is there no better choice than the Garunix? No, we're going for Sacred Fire King Garunix. This is an interesting field ending on Jesse's side. You know, indestructible by battle due to the co-link with Nightmare Phoenix, that SP Little Knight. You know, normally we get rid of the SP Little Knight just by going to battle phase. You know, not the highest attack stat line through that. So you're going to have to eat into that card or find some way to negate it ahead of time. And that's not going to be easy.
Definitely. It looks like Jesse is going to be using SP Little Knight. And does he chain something like Infinite Permanence? Yes, he does.
Yep. Layering, this is now the kind of the control style of play now coming from Jesse.
Yep, and now we're going to see if Cam's draw is going to come into play. Does he have an Infinite Permanence in his deck to cross out right now? Does Jesse have another copy set? Should have Cam taken a page out of Jesse's book from yesterday and let his turn off with Crossout Designator on Infinite Permanence to try and block out there being 2 just in case? We're going to find out if he has a second one.
There is a crossout.
That would be kind of funny if he did have 2, because he played around 2 yesterday, but now he would be the one doing it. That would be hilarious, but we'll see. Does he have a chain?
So crossout. Wait. Cam went first into this one. Did he keep enough imperms in the deck? I'm pretty sure he does. First card. There it is. First card off the top. That is the Infinite Impermanence. Turning off this Infinite Impermanence that's activated by Jesse in the middle column. So the Garunix is going to be destroyed. However, it was not negated ahead of time, so the Garunix is still going to destroy a card out of the deck, and that's likely going to be the Kieran, and therefore pushing the play even further here. Now, we did have to destroy the Nightmare Phoenix. Now, the SP Little Knight can be used, or rather can be destroyed by battle. However, it seems like there's a lot of activation going on, so there might be a point where the SP Little Knight can chain on top just to get Jesse a little bit more of an advantage and remove some of Cam's resources.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Cam. I mean, Jesse's now, I think he's doing Garunix, right? Like, he's going to go into Garunix, going to be able to destroy the Fire King Island.
Things are not looking too hot for Cameron.
I mean, I can't tell who's doing what because they're just staring at their graveyards for a very long time. Like, with this is wild to me. Like, come on. Like, let's go, guys. Y'all are in the undisputed Ultimate Duel Series, and we're 45 minutes into this game, and it's been 5 turns. Like,
and there's a lot.
There's a lot of interaction.
These decks. it's the deck that does 13 things.
Because now it looks like Ponix is going to come out for Cam from that Kieran. It's going to take out the other Spell and Trap card zone. Was the original Sinful Spoils.
Do we have a Wanted in
Oh, did he draw? No, how did he get that? Did he have a draw after he put it back from the Wanted? Or was that the other game?
No, that was the other game.
That was game one. Okay. So now he's going to get access to the Fire King line. This is Cam's moment. He found a way to do this.
So the cards have been protected. SP Little Knight activated, banish both of the Promethean Princess and the SP Little Knight. We have a bit of an opening here, but Cam did commit a lot of his cards already. But if there's any card that can take it from anyone, it has to be the original. The card that can solo. Oh, wow!
That's why he SP'd his own monster off the board, so he'd be able to use the Delta he sided in. I was wondering why he did that SP Little Knight play.
That was really, really crucial. It's going to cost Cam a card on the field. Not only that, Jesse develops 2 more monsters on the field, blocking and safekeeping Jesse's life points.
But the monsters were spell summoned to the field, so now he's going to use Promethean Princess to destroy the Ponix and the Delta to bring out the Princess. He has Garunix in his graveyard, I believe.
And not only that, there's probably the Flamberge that... Is the Flamberge still in the graveyard at the moment?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Oh, no, it got banished from SP Little Knight.
Yeah, got banished. I just can't see the other side banished.
Off the side to the left.
Since that is the only one, they're going to go for the Snake Eye Oak. Oak is going to be able to push another monster onto the field, but this is going to be very difficult. Without Flamberge not being able to push away cards, and also, that's also 3,000 damage that you're going to be missing from the deck.
I think he's going to be able to do it. I think Cam's going to be able to take this game here.
No, as long as we don't see him fumble off with the wrong Zelantis. Okay, now we get the Poplar summon. Yeah, added from the Ash. I thought that they committed quite a bit out of their extra deck, but apparently the extra deck's still quite loaded.
It feels like it should be emptied by this time. You know?
The game's been stretching out for this long already.
Yeah, we are 45 minutes plus a 3-minute extension, so 48 minutes into this round. And game number 2, Jesse won game number 1.
Promethean Princess leaving the field, not leaving the field. I feel like both players just committed so many resources already, and some of them are permanently gone. We're linking away into... It has to be a fire. Hita? Oh, Cam has not used his Hita yet.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to put enough damage. I mean, I think because of that game 1, he might be taking his time a little bit to just make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. He doesn't want to use this Hita to get a fire monster and give it back to his opponent and not have any other fire monsters, so he's going to have to watch it. Oh, no, he was thinking about Poplar if he wanted to put in the Spell or Trap card
into
zone.
the Spell and Trap zone. What is in Jesse's? Oh.
I like how he stopped at the big one. He's like, oh, this is a big fire monster.
Cypher Drop has 0 defense points. Like, a little sneeze will push it into the graveyard.
Yeah, I think he can just grab Flamebirch here.
Is he going for...
But that's a little dangerous. Yeah, I'd go for Raging Phoenix.
Raging Phoenix is huge. I mean, it's 28 by base. Jesse at 8,000 life points. We can do a little bit of life point calculation based on what points. Oh, we're going for the Flamberge. We're going for the push and then going for the big damage. Flamberge is a bit dangerous. If you take it at the wrong time, put it in the graveyard, all of a sudden your opponent's loaded with monsters again.
Yeah, Cam needs to be careful. I mean, I know that there's a lot on the line, but
it's so tempting to take this, and he takes it. It's been decided. It's locked in. We have the Flamberge Dragon summon from Jesse's graveyard. Oh, are we going to push, or are we going to establish more stuff into the back? There's a Selene in his deck, but there is no access code. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. You got to keep,
you gotta keep going.
You got to keep
I
going.
believe there was one slow play warning issued already, so Cam, you got to keep going here.
You don't want your tournament to end with a penalty. You have to play an appropriate pace. There is a lot to think about, a lot on the line, and he does have to win this turn.
Are we
otherwise
going
he's in
for
trouble.
Selene to bring back another spellcaster? There's probably more than enough spell cards in the graveyard for both graveyards. Yeah, enough green cards right there. And we are seeing the Selene land onto the field. Selene only summons into defense position, so the Diabellstar might be an option. Oh, there is an Effect Veiler.
Yeah, like see, taking this long, there's plenty of spellcasters. You got to play with a purpose. I can tell these judges are just like looking at him like, oh man, Cam, I don't want it to be like this. You're so close to winning this game and going to a game number 3.
They're really cutting close into time.
Does he play Access Code Talker?
No, he does not.
Okay,
we just saw his extra deck right
no.
now. Access Code Talker would have just.
That's what I'm
finished the
trying to
game.
figure out. I'm like 53 plus 3,000. Like we're there. I play Access Code Talker. I love it, especially because I use it with Celine in a similar scenario. Yeah.
You've seen this graveyard time and time again. Is there a way to get a destruction-based effect? Maybe to get some Fire King cards out.
Dude, linking your Link 1 into a Link Karibo.
Okay, yeah, you get a little bit
Tough.
more damage.
Like you just got to be careful. Yeah, because the judges are right there. Like even if it's not intentional. Like
Oh no.
That took 4 minutes.
now. Yeah, just because, it doesn't mean it has to be upgraded right away, but it could add 3 more minutes to the clock. But it looks like they are going to just go talk about it. But yeah, you have to play at an appropriate pace. Even though there's a lot on the line. Like, this is an important tournament, and there is some extra time in the round, but you can't go into Game 3 in time. Like,
Yeah.
you just, especially when you started with, it was either 55 or 65 minutes. I know we weren't really sure which one that was going to be, if it was 65 for the finals.
But it's 55 for the top 4, and then you get an additional 10 minutes when you make it to the finals. And don't forget, we still have another semifinals match after this one. So this is, right now, the clock has been, has it just been paused right now?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to upgrade the penalty. If maybe it's only his second one, and just kind of happening here because it is top 4 and this pressure. They could just add 3 more minutes on the clock. It's up to the head judge discretion, whether they feel like this is intentional or something that needs to be addressed further. But I don't think it's intentional. I do think there's, especially looking at that game one, you brought up a good point that he may have been playing a little too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, arguably too quickly for himself maybe in game number 1, and then kind of rush things to try and end it quickly, and then having that in mind kind of may have shook him a little bit to where he wants to be really careful for the rest of the things. So that kind of thing happened, but at the end of the day you have to keep it in mind.
Yeah. So based off of the current
We just
board,
don't want it to see the end like this.
yeah, that's just an awful way to end.
Dark Sacred Witch, but that's not Charizard.
Are we trying to calculate for gaming? Like the board
He has it. He's so close to it.
What does he have access to in his extra deck that can maybe push for that additional damage? With the Link Rebuild, the Celine. Oh,
No,
I
it does look
believe
like
an
it is going to
upgrade.
end with an upgrade on the penalty.